Steve Clemons, I direct the foreign policy programs of the New America Foundation and write the political blog, The Washington Note. I'm here with Prince Turki Al-Faisal, who was Saudi ambassador to Washington, D.C., also chairman of the King Faisal Foundation in Saudi Arabia, and for 20 years or so was essentially running the Saudi intelligence services. And he's here today as part of a major U.S.-Saudi forum that the New America Foundation has organized with the Committee on International Trade at the Saudi Chambers of Commerce. Prince Turki, what are the 2 or 3 most important things you want Americans to hear about this relationship?
Well, I think one of the things that many people don't hear about is that this has been a long-standing relationship. It's not
kind of been hiding in the closet, though.
A newly born engagement, and it's been a very profitable relationship for both countries. In the 30s, when the American oil companies started producing oil, and then World War II came along, President Roosevelt met with King Abdulaziz, and they agreed on a program of joint activities on the part of Saudi Arabia, which was to allow oil companies to drill for more oil in the kingdom. The kingdom leased a piece of land on the eastern shore of the kingdom as an American air base, which played an important role in the years of the 50s and early 60s in facing the growing menace of communism.
Mm-hmm.
And also commercial and technical and other support from the United States to the kingdom. That relationship prospered in the 50s and the 60s. In the 70s, of course, because of the Arab-Israeli dispute, we had the oil embargo imposed on the United States by Saudi Arabia because the U.S. was perceived to be too supportive of Israel, particularly during what we call the Ramadan War and what you call the Yom Kippur War.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but after that, relations, of course, came back together and improved, and in the 70s and 80s and 90s continuously grew and prospered. In the 90s, of course, we had the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia asked for support from the United States. And we will never forget, as the Saudi people, the willingness of the United States to send her children to stand side by side with our soldiers, not just in the defense of Saudi Arabia at that time, but also in liberating Kuwait from Iraqi forces. And that issue remains a historic measure, if you like, of the closeness of the relationship, that the U.S. was willing to send 500,000 soldiers to the kingdom. And more importantly, when the engagement was finished, to take them out.
Yeah.
That was
doesn't happen enough in most places of the world.
Alas.
But do you think some critics would say that we Americans tend to know princes and oil sheikhs and whatever, that the broader appreciation of the public, and you yourself in this conference were just calling for more congressional trips, senators and congressmen, which I think is really a call to the American people to sort of broaden the general understanding and stakeholding in that relationship. Is that fair?
Very, very fair, indeed. On the Saudi side, there's a lot of Saudi public engagement with America through student programs, for example, through tourist visitors to the United States, medical requirements for Saudi citizens. As you know, the kingdom's health services, if there is a person in the kingdom who faces a particular health problem where we don't have the means or the know-how to deal with them in the kingdom, they're given an airline ticket and spending money to come to the United States and find that medical cure for their ill. And so the kingdom side is pretty much active with American citizenry. Today we have 20,000 Saudi students spread all over the United States.
They're back to levels higher than pre 9/11.
Absolutely.
And my understanding is that a good number of them are still having problems with our border checkpoints and whatnot, but I understand it's getting a bit better.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
The visa issue is still causing a problem, although both governments have agreed on providing 5-year multiple entry visas for both citizens. But on the American side, we still have too few Americans coming to the kingdom. We want more of that. And if anybody
I hope to go soon.
Is listening to me, as far as the King Faisal Foundation is concerned, we have established, for example, a university that is dedicated to the sciences. If any American students would like to come and study there, they'll be more than happy to be welcomed and to apply for a scholarship. And if they're rich, then to pay for the tuition. And also, the King Faisal Center for Research in Islamic Studies receives scholars from all over the world
Right.
as fellows to come and do their research. This invitation goes to any American who wants to come and do research, to take advantage of the King Faisal Center for Research in Islamic Studies.
Let me finish last point. You wrote an important and provocative, consequential article in the Financial Times on the Arab Peace Initiative, King Abdullah, your uncle's effort to change the game in the Middle East, to change the way in which to offer a normalization deal for many of the Arab states with Israel. And your comment after President Obama come in is that the patience with that is growing short. Mm-hmm. And it's my view that President Obama, in his first formal announcement, first formal press meeting with Al Arabiya, responded directly to you in that article, saying, please be patient, please don't move, we're going to make this matter. Do you have confidence in President Obama's approach to the region? Do you think he's got the strategic depth to think about the different pieces that moved? And what do you feel today, after having written that piece on the Arab Peace Initiative, do you feel now a few months after?
Well, let me just point out that my mention of the growing impatience in the Arab world on the Arab Peace Initiative came from a statement that was made by King Abdullah at the Arab Summit that was held in Kuwait, I believe, in January. So it's not my contention. Rather,
you have
it comes from a higher authority in the kingdom, which is the king himself. And I'm sure President Obama's response was more directed at the king's own statement rather than my humble article in the Financial Times. Mr. Obama started well on issues of the Arab-Israeli dispute. If you remember, when he was inaugurated, his first call was to Mahmoud Abbas, followed by other Arab leaders. Subsequently, he has stressed the fact that he is committed to the two-state solution, and that he's also committed to the fact that America should be playing not just an important role, but the important role in bringing about peace in the Middle East. His appointment of George Mitchell was an indication that he's willing to use tested and also reliable people in promoting his commitment to peace in the area. Senator Hillary Clinton, when she visited Israel in her first visit, objected to the settlement policy of Israel, and to Israel throwing out Palestinian residents of homes in Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Because the first time something like that comes out in public from a U.S. official on these two issues, which are clear indications that they're moving in the right direction. But we're still waiting for concrete action on the ground. And the occupation still exists. The maltreatment and mistreatment of Palestinians still exists. The building of the apartheid wall separating the Palestinians on Palestinian land from Israelis continues. All of these things have to be stopped, and of course the settlements. And they are the sword that incentivizes all of the not just the feelings of being hurtfully dealt with by the Israelis, but also of having no hope but to revert to violence. This is something I think that President Obama can do something about. There is a World Court decision on the war declaring it illegal. There is no reason why the United States should not support that World Court decision, as the U.S. has supported World Court decisions on other issues. Mm-hmm. So on these matters, I think President Obama can be very forthcoming. But as I said, we're still holding our breath, waiting for the Obama administration to put in practice what it has said verbally that it will do.
Well, I want to thank you for
Thank you.
your support of the conference
Let me
and
just say
putting
something.
things on that, out in the open more. It is good to get the relationship out
Let
in
me
the
say
air.
also that
Yeah.
the New America Foundation does a wonderful job,
Thank you.
not only of organizing this conference, but of getting people to come together. And I think we need more of that.
Thank you, sir. Thanks
you.
so much.
Can I ask one quick